Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas.
Which one do you prefer? I'll tell you which one you prefer. The one I prefer.
This is Emsolation.
The night before my wedding, I walked in and there was Em and Adrian. What was going on?
I am openly whoring stuff, and you guys will applaud it.
There are these weird parallels at times with you and Trump.
There's a whore in the house.
You're in Emsolation.
So, Chris, we all know you're circumcised. Tell us more. Hello, darlings. Welcome to Emsolation. Hey, yesterday I had a really bad anxiety attack, panic attack. Why am I laughing? Because I decided I was going to talk about today because it's such an isolating thing when your anxiety is at fever pitch. And I know a lot of you guys, I think like attracts like. I think there's a lot of anxious people that follow me. And you can be a person who just experiences anxiety every now and then. It doesn't mean that you have anxiety. I am someone that has been diagnosed with and has that certain mental health affliction. And but yeah, I think sometimes definitely it's overdiagnosed and not everyone gets it as acutely as I do. I certainly hope you don't. And it's a strange thing. Last night I did a thing on my Instagram, which you need to go and I'll save it as a highlight. I asked people to let me know their most traumatic, embarrassing, humiliating experience in high school. And I shared their stories anonymously in my stories. And so far it's been viewed 100,000 times in my stories. It's the most my stories have ever been viewed. And it's hysterical and cathartic. And I decided I needed something to kind of jolt myself out of the anxious state I was in. And I decided to ask other people about their stories of, humiliation, high school humiliation. Because I always find when you share stories of, at the time you thought it was the worst thing that could happen to you, and then other people go, oh my God, me too. Instantly the load is lighter. And that's kind of why I do my stand-up too. I want people to walk out feeling a little bit lighter. That's why I'm so open with the things that happen to me, because I feel so isolated when those things are happening to me. So first of all, please go and look at the stories. There's a highlight there of a woman who accidentally sent her asshole because she was taking pictures of her anus to send to a doctor. And it was linked up to her child's iPad account, and the teacher saw her weeping anus. The story is hilarious. But I guess that's the whole point of what I do, is sharing stories to help people understand themselves. And I wanted to talk about, and it also helps me, I wanted to talk about how my anxiety actually manifests itself. And I know where my anxiety came from. It's kind of been this strong rumor about who the new Today FM breakfast show is going to be, and it's starting. And whenever they write about it, I'm already getting heart palpitations talking about it. Hang on. And whenever people mention Today FM Breakfast, which is Sydney Breakfast Radio, if you don't know, I did that for 2 years. Although if you don't know, where have you been? And it was a hugely traumatic experience for many reasons. Some of them I'm still dealing with right now. Anytime that show gets mentioned, anytime that the breakfast slot gets mentioned, my name will inevitably hit the press again. And I knew that was coming, and it hung over me like a dark cloud. I still feel a great sense of loss and shame, and I was unfairly treated about that time. I also made a lot of mistakes. I was badly behaved. So there's a whole lot of heavy shit that hangs off that time. And all weekend I felt really uneasy. I don't read any of the articles, but I just know that many people send them to me. Here's a note. If you read about me in the press and it's not great, don't tell me. I don't want to know. And then, sure enough, yesterday I was doing the food shopping and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And the way in which my anxiety comes is really strange. Well, not strange, but I guess I want to let you know of my experience, and maybe you'll be like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. So I, first of all, feel super isolated from the world. I feel like everyone's against me, like everyone's looking for the worst in me. I become my own little private victim. So that's when my anxiety starts to kind of come. Then I get like this urge to be impulsive. I know my anxiety is starting to rise when I want to cut my hair off. I want to get a tattoo. I want to go shopping online. I have this such strong urge to be impulsive, like it's an addiction. I have an addiction to being impulsive, 100%, and I know that that is linked to my anxiety. I also have two modes. I'm either really zoned out and withdrawn, or I'm hypo and in your face. And that's how it can manifest. And this has got me in trouble a lot, especially at like my early days of my husband's family gatherings. I was really anxious to go to them because obviously we got together very quickly, had a baby very quickly, and I didn't think that they liked me. And so we would go to his family Christmas gatherings and I would sit in the corner just trying to breathe. And that was kind of used to come off as me isolating myself from the family and not wanting to partake in things. But it was actually, I learned many years later, my anxiety. But at the time I didn't know. I just knew I felt really nauseous. I couldn't look anyone in the eye and I was just struggling to stay upright. And I now know what that was, but at the time, it's got nice to fight about all the time. And I'd be like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Because, he would see me with other people and I'd be really gregarious, obviously. So, yeah, the two M's when I'm anxious are either zoned out and withdrawn or like loud and hypo. I also get guilt. I feel guilt when I'm anxious about things that have happened years ago. I'm racked with it. I feel the need to contact people. I feel the need to talk about it incessantly. The guilt, it's just like all consuming. And I also become like, in Twilight where Bella becomes a vampire and she becomes hyper aware of all the sounds and smells and tones. That's how I get when I'm anxious. I become a vampire, guys. I'm an anxiety vampire. So there are all the things that happen to me. The isolation, the impulsiveness, the nausea, the zoning out or the hypo, the guilt and the hyper awareness, the hypervigilance. So that's what happens to me. And sometimes and I say to Scott, my husband, sometimes I just have to work so hard to be like even. It's just this constant battle to be, just not over or underreacting. I do both. And so much of that anxiety has played a role in my difficulties in the workplace, in my difficulties in friendships, in my difficulties in relationships. And I'm only now just understanding, even just saying it out loud to you guys in a mic, how deep the river, how deep that has run into kind of affecting how I view myself and how I'm unable to figure out who I am because the anxiety has made me so many different people. So anyway, I kind of vowed to myself yesterday I was doing my breathing exercises and I don't have an answer yet and I'm going to start. I've been out of therapy for the last probably 8 months and I'm definitely going to go back in because I've noticed work's starting to pick up again, everything's opening up again and I'm starting to feel that surge of adrenaline happening to me all the time now and avoiding answering emails and avoiding looking at text messages and I'm starting to go down the route that I used to go down when I felt overwhelmed by work and life. So yes, I'm going to be doing that. But I did vow yesterday when I was doing the breathing exercises that I'd talk to you guys about it today because if just one of you is listening to this going, oh my God, Em, yes, then that's good. Then it's worth it. All right. Well, you're about to hear me in a very manic state. Michael and I talk about Miley, Cyrus and Dua Lipa, Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey, the John Farnham Musical that I want to star as John Farnham in. We talk about Rudy Giuliani and the running hair mascara. We talk about the article that was written about us in The Age. It's like I'm just a bit hypo. But I guess the one thing to say about Michael Lucas is that he is my safe space, which is, the large part of our friendship is that we provide each other with a safe place to land. And I cherish that very much. And I'm glad you guys get to be a part of it. Oh my God, I'm so teary. Having just spoken about all that stuff. Oh my God. Also, thank you to everyone who listened to my interview with Broden on Friday from Auntie Donna. I got a lot of great feedback saying that our stories have helped you figure out some stuff, which is always great. All right, I'm going to go. God, I'm just a mess. Look, you're just getting me as me today. And the fact that you're choosing to be here still is, I'm very grateful. I'm going to go before I full-blown snot cry into my microphone at the start of this comedy podcast. Oh my God. All right, play the music.
Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsolation.
Okay, we have no real plan today. Believe it or not, other days we do have a plan.
You never know it to listen to us.
Oh, we do. No, we do.
No, we do. Let's just clarify. Em has a plan. She knows what she's doing.
I know there's this idea that I'm an agent of chaos, but I'm in fact quite a control freak.
Yeah, you're both somehow simultaneously.
Well, I
You
think
want to
able-
have the plan that you can throw away. Anyone
Yes.
who's been to any one of your stand-up shows knows that there is a plan, and the plan
yes.
is normally sitting scrunched on a bit of butcher paper
Yes.
somewhere. And every once in a while you refer to the fact that you haven't been on it for about 45 minutes.
That's right. The confidence, to have the confidence to be an agent of chaos, I have to have the scaffolding in place to time myself to. So I know that I'm not going to float off into outer space like those people in Superman when they're in the glass box.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yes. Because if I don't have a plan in place, and my shows are 8 months worth of planning for me to throw away on the opening night, by the way.
You do also look like that woman in Superman, by the way. At times your style has really matched up with her. In fact, I kind of want to see you in that full suit with the low-cut top and the massive black hooker boots.
Yes. Actually, that could be a really good Halloween for us.
For all of it. Yeah, okay.
Yes. All right, put that in the memory bank. The first thing I want to talk about is Dua Lipa and Miley Cyrus.
Of course.
They've got a new song out together called Prisoner, which is just let's get physical and she's a man-eater combined, if we're being honest.
It's such a familiar song, but I'm okay with that.
Prisoner, locked up, can get you off my mind.
You think you've heard it before when you listen to it.
I'm such a... No, you have. I'm such a prisoner, let's get physical. And there's the Dua Lipa bit is oh, here she comes. Like it's oh, here, like it is just literally those two songs smushed together. I already have an issue with people thinking Miley Cyrus wrote Blondie songs when it was the other way around.
What?
When she covered Heart of Glass, my
I
daughter
love that
came down,
cover.
Odette, and said, "Oh, have you heard Miley's new song Heart of Glass?" I said, "It's a cover."
Once I loved and it was a gas. It soon turned out I had a heart of glass.
I remember vividly with my mother playing the Fugees' Killing Me Softly and my mum having that exact reaction you had. And
Roberta Flack.
and Roberta Flack and putting it
Yeah.
on and hearing this real
I
70s
knew that.
lounge music version. Actually,
Yeah.
I did know that was a cover, but
I
she
knew
was
that
very,
because
very
my dad,
keen.
yes, yeah, my dad loved Roberta Flack, so I knew that one. But yeah, I got really upset. Then I made them go and look at Debbie Harry. I made her go and look at Blondie. The whole phenomenon, how this was a whole movement. I was really cross about it.
What's the most shocking cover? Did you have anything that you didn't realise was a cover and then you grew up a bit more?
Horses, Daryl Braithwaite. I didn't know that was a cover.
Oh my God, you just revealed it to me. What? Daryl did not write that.
No, Ricky Lee. Oh my God. What's her name? Ricky Lee.
Coulter. She's too young. She's very talented, but I think she's too young.
No, the original was
I know, yeah,
Ricky Lee
right.
Jones. Ricky Lee Jones originally wrote Horses. Yeah, no, that's a cover.
That's the way it's gonna be, little darling. We'll be riding on the horses, yeah.
I'm so glad I knew that and you didn't. Oh my God, that has brought
Okay,
me.
well, I reckon the most shocking one, and it's more of an adaptation than a cover, but not really. Madonna, Ray of Light.
Zephyr in the sky at night, I wonder.
Is based on a 70s song called Sephirin. And if you listen to it, it's got a really, really similar sort of chorus. It's like a 70s hippie vibe sort of a thing
It's
happening.
very Kate Bush, actually, when I think about it.
And I feel like I've just got home.
The Miley and Dua song, it's good, it's fine, it's catchy, it's a bop. It's the film
They sound
clip.
good together.
Yeah,
There
they
are
do.
two favourites. There are
Yeah,
two
they're
young
great.
favourites at the moment.
They're great. They're great. Go for gold, girls. And save pop. It's a film clip. It's so... First of all, they've ripped it off. Miley's been accused of ripping it off. So I want to first of all say someone's already done the film clip. In the film clip, there's a perspective of through teeth when they finally get to the... So basically they're getting ready to go to a gig. They're in a tour bus. They spill a lot of cherry juice all over each other, which kind
And
of
we
looks
come
like
into
blood.
it via the disembodied mouth a la Rocky Horror. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a key Rocky Horror reference.
But there was a film clip made that is exactly the same where there's two girls rocking out on stage with a view of a mouth earlier this year. And that band has come out and said, hey, Miley, you copied our video. And I went and watched it. The band is called Dream Wife. And they've come out and said, oh, someone's done a cosplay of our film clip. It happens to be Miley Cyrus and Dua Lipa.
Oh, that's annoying. Although, in Miley's defence, probably a director came and said, this is how I'm seeing it. And you wouldn't think to check every video clip that had been made. You probably would have just,
I would.
you know, unless, who knows? She could have directly ripped it off, but I would say more likely someone has said to her, I've got this great idea. And she thought, yeah, cool. Terrific.
I would Google the words of the idea if I was Miley Cyrus. 100%. 100%. She's already flying so close to the wind with the music being direct rip-offs.
That's why when we say that you're the control freak, I think that's why you and Miley would have had different careers. If you're in Miley's, maybe you would cut loose with the foam finger, but you would have had a plan before that.
Dude, I had a giant blow-up penis. I was straddling things before Miley was. Oh, that was
You're
probably
very
after
similar.
Miley.
I could write a PhD on it.
I
Anyway.
know, but I feel like I just think it's so unnecessary.
Is it the blood?
It's not blood though, it's cherry juice. It's the whole... Do you need to get your doorbell?
Adrian's not here. I might as well because I think they're going to keep ringing. Can I race down? I don't know what else to do. I'll
just
be back.
press stop on the garage.
No. I'm going to keep recording. 1 sec.
Oh, great. Okay, well, he's just going to go, so I'll just sit here and chat. Yeah, so basically the film clip is, and I'll fill you in when Michael's answering the door. It's Dua and Miley dressed as like 80s punk chicks. Miley's got the full Malay going. Dua's got a kind of black, blunt, long bob. Fishnets pulled up to their tits, you know, like looking really hot and sexual. And then they're like licking each other in this kind of, I don't know, faux lesbian display, although Miley is bi. I don't know what Dua's status is. That's fine, like great, but it just feels so done and it feels so unoriginal. And I just think I want more from the two reigning princesses of pop. I want conceptualism. I want strong feminist statements. And I just don't, Michael's going to be spewing, he's missing all this. And I just don't feel like we've achieved that in the back of a seedy bus. And I just think that they could have gone a little bit more conceptual. Here he comes.
Sorry.
I've just explained to everyone why you were gone, my issue with the film clip.
Well, I'll have to wait.
You'll have to wait to hear it. No, so things have already...
Okay. Yeah, why? Because blood.
No, just because I wanted more. These two are pretty much at the forefront of pop at the moment. They're huge names. They've had a string of hits. They're high profile. I wanted Lady Gaga and Beyonce telephone level. Do you know what I mean?
You've been a very bad girl. A very, very bad girl, Gaga.
I know. And also the most obvious recent example is Ariana and Gaga.
Oh, Gaga.
And they served it up. I mean, they
semen
really...
on your face. They had semen on your face. No, but I just watched it, and I don't know if it's faux lesbianism. They're trying to be shocking with that. It's like, guys, we're cool. Lesbians, like, being gay is not shocking anymore. Like, can we move on from that? I don't know. It just felt really contrived.
I don't mind Miley. I mean, she is a woman. Let's keep in mind that she burst to icon status by firstly doing the foam finger and then a week afterwards releasing her naked on a wrecking ball. So she's got to keep upping it.
No,
every
she
time.
doesn't.
And also I don't think there's any kind of role playing with her. I believe that Miley sticks her tongue everywhere she implies she sticks her tongue. She delivers.
And she's like openly bisexual, and that's cool. But I mean, she's 27. I feel like it's time for her to grow up. I don't know. I just feel like every time Madonna reinvents, she still maintains the core structure that, you know, the heart of Madonna. You still, you know, and even Beyonce reinvents. Every time that those big names, the big divas come out, they've got their theme. You know, they've sat down with their gays and gone, okay, who are we this time? And then there's a whole rollout of merch and themes and ideas and songs and collabs. This just feels like...
It does feel a long way away from the Miley that was sitting on the sand in the Malibu film clip looking all wistful and sweet.
Mark, that was only last year, wasn't it? Weren't we in Malibu?
It feels like a decade ago. But yeah, probably was.
She was in a white knit jumper running along the beach with natural hair, barefoot, with the horses. It was actually kind of like the Daryl Braithwaite Horses film clip.
Look, I'm fine with it. I'm thinking
fine.
when she was drowning herself in the cherry juice, I thought that is such an unsubtle nod to her lesbian fan base, and I'm sure that many of them appreciated it.
Going down on a woman who's got her period, is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, no, cherry. I mean, the whole cherry
cherry
thing.
fishing. Cherry.
Yeah. It's always a bit of a thing. Katy Perry once sang the cherry chapstick.
I kissed a girl and I liked it. The taste of
We all know where the cherries are.
I didn't know. I legitimately thought when Katy Perry sung that, I like the taste of her cherry chapstick, I legitimately thought she meant her lip gloss flavour. I did not know.
It's a double
I
meaning.
didn't know. I didn't know it was
you
a double.
You can interpret that so you can sing it with your kids.
Again, showing my extreme naivete when it comes to double meanings of song lyrics. I just want it out there. I'm fine with it. They both look hot. They're both like at the top of their games. I'm not trying to be like
I just love how you're putting it out. You need to put out a press release when Miley releases a single. We cross live now to Amelia Rossiano for her official response.
No, I'm not trying to be Marilla from Anne of Green Gables or anything, but because I'm so much more...
You're going to need to really break down who I've forgotten that character. Which one
Marilla!
is she?
I don't think we can be friends anymore. I just feel
Hang
like...
on, no, I'll know it, but which one is she?
She's the adoptive mother, Marilla and Matthew.
Oh,
Marilla.
okay, sorry.
The staunch, hardline, but ultimately loving mother figure of Anne.
You're no Marilla. Maybe you're a Miss Hannigan, but you're not a Marilla.
I'm definitely Miss Hannigan. I don't know. There's just something about this film clip. I watched it and went, oh yeah, I've seen it before. That's all.
I feel I'm with you. I don't have any problem with the cherry juice or the referencing of blood or anything, but I am with you on it could have been an extravaganza. The only thing that I would counter that is sort of saying maybe it was the difficulties of COVID, although there's no excuse because WAP was made in COVID times and that was an absolute fantasia.
Yeah. And do you know what else was made in COVID times that was incredible? Oprah interviewing I went to say Barack Obama.
Don't say that. God, you'll start another conspiracy theory.
I know. Oprah interviewing Barack Obama in what looked like the same room. Now, this Miley and Dua needed to talk to Oprah's people about the technology she used. He was in Washington. She was in Santa Barbara at her house.
Yeah, which she hasn't left except to get a mammogram.
Exactly. And she does an interview with Barack Obama about his autobiography that took 4 years to write, A Promised Land.
And he's still only written half. It's only volume 1. We haven't even got onto the second term of his presidency.
What would your wanky, schmaltzy presidential autobiography be called? Because they always got the worst titles. A Promised Land. What would you call yours?
Oh, God, I've never thought about it.
Mine would be something like Scorched Earth.
It really would be.
And Rossiano, Scorched Earth.
I saw that Delta's new tour is going to be called, I almost crashed my car when I saw it because I just needed to, I was frowning so much trying to unpack it. I think it's called Bridge Over Troubled Dreams.
Yes! She's out-delted herself!
What?
She has out-delted herself.
She really has. But also, obviously, there's the Simon and Garfunkel song, and then there's the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. It was like a mashup of all these different songs put through a Delta filter.
Tina Arenas called her tour Enchanté.
I support that 100%.
I love that. I spoke to her last week and I said, God, I love it. It's perfect and pretentious but diva-ish. It's like all the right things.
Mine would be some sort of camp, like Wizard of Oz reference, something to do with End of the Yellow Brick Road or something
the Emerald
like that.
City.
Michael Lucas. The Emerald City.
Worst names. I hate that. Promised Land. Shut up, Barack. But I do love him.
I think it's all right.
It's the worst. You know it is. Stop it. Don't be blinded by our love for him. We've got to remain objective or we've got nothing. Like, what have we got?
I genuinely don't mind it because I feel, my sense of it is because he was, more than most presidents, came in with so much promise and hype and the story of his presidency was how do you possibly live up to that campaign and to the sense of promise that you brought. So in that sense, A Promised Land, I think it's fine.
God, it's not.
A really nice picture of him on the front too.
Oh, yeah.
They've really done well with that.
He doesn't take a bad picture. He
doesn't. Good. And I have to say that this whole thing, his whole tour has made me realise, especially when they show footage of the time, that just the revelation of having a truly hot president.
At least
Bill Clinton had his moments.
No, he didn't. He was. I never got that. I never understood why people thought Bill Clinton was attractive.
Not even when he was playing his saxophone in 1991?
Ew. No, especially then. I was like 11. No.
He was a bit ruddy-faced, sure.
Yeah, and the bulbous whiskey nose. He never appealed to me.
But I do remember growing up when everyone used to say JFK was a really attractive president. But with Obama, like you go back and you have a look at him in 2008, He was so boyish and he looked amazing.
He did look amazing.
Still does.
Yeah, he does look good. Not that that's important. Not that we want to reduce the presidency to how they look.
I think we've just hit the point in this podcast that there's no point in us making these disclaimers.
We have to. There has to be some shred of self-awareness. Like, that's the beauty of this podcast is that, yes, we go to the worst, shallowest spots, but we acknowledge it and we fix it.
The saving grace is we know we're there.
100%. And that's half the battle is admitting the problem. Are we going to address the problem? No. Are we going to make it worse? Yes. So him and Oprah sit together, what it seemingly looks like the same room, but totally different studios. I don't understand how they've done it. At one point, they're playing pretend footsies.
This is pretty cool technology you got here. We're playing footsies.
What I did notice about watching this interview, and you can watch it on Apple TV, he was very cautious about the things he said. Like, you could see 1,000 cogs turning in his brain when he was speaking about the current presidency. And I found that the most interesting when he's like, and it was almost at pains to say, while I acknowledge Joe and Kamala aren't perfect, they will at least respect the wheels of democracy, that the systems that are in place that keep us on the straight and narrow. At least we have people who care in there now. Like, he didn't say, I love them and I agree with everything they do. And he didn't kind of shit directly on Donald Trump. He did say we do have a president that lies. But I just noticed even now he's quite diplomatic. Because if it were me, I'd be like, oh, this fucking cunt. I mean, I did all that work for 8 years and he comes in and fucks it all up. That's how I would be post-presidency. He's
very zen about all that sort of stuff. I mean, I've obviously gone beyond the Oprah interview to watch pretty much every interview he's done. It's basically spent this weekend. Another good one is the Terry Gross Fresh Air podcast one, because she spends a lot of time going, it must have been so frustrating. How did you handle it watching Trump? And, he just does sort of talk sagely about, the arc of history, things go back and things go forward. And he put it in a really good way in that he was sort of saying, if you think about the end of slavery, massive leap. But then, of course, we had Jim Crow, we had all these setbacks and everything, but you would still say the end of slavery was a great bit of progress. That was still glad it happened. So, and then his point was, even if I put in things that were stripped apart, it was still great that we had that moment where we got there and it will be easier for people to come and, rebuild again. And a lot of it held, like the health. They still, touch wood, have not gotten rid of the Affordable Care Act.
And he said he thinks that will maintain the rage. But it's a great interview, and it's just the technology, first of all, is what got me. I mean, Barack even said, why are we doing it in a living room? Why aren't we doing it from Mars?
We should have done this in outer space. We could have both been sitting on, like, Neptune in a bubble.
You could literally have picked any background. Why are we sitting by a fire?
But I also don't understand why. I mean, I get she doesn't want to leave her home, but at various points people come and they show the people rushing in to, like, fix the fire and touch up her makeup and stuff. So she's got people around her there. Or maybe she just...
I would say they live there.
Right.
I would say there's a whole kind of another wing full of her people who are like tested every 48 hours.
They've done a month-long quarantine and they can never leave the grounds.
Yeah, their blood's been purified. Everyone's genetically screened. The whole thing. Like, there's contact tracing done hourly on the people. Where have you been? Where'd you go? Toilet. Okay, did you touch anything? No, great. Okay, you can go in and touch her face now. Like, I just feel like that whole ship is sealed up there in Santa Barbara on the ranch.
Yeah.
And they're the people allowed around her. I know, what a life.
The other interview that I would really recommend is he did a long Jimmy Kimmel interview and he was really loose with that. Like, Jimmy Kimmel said, did you make your book 700 pages to ensure that Donald Trump would never read it? And then he said something like, I wouldn't have had to make it 700 pages to ensure that. And then Jimmy Kimmel, this really shocked me. Jimmy Kimmel said when Osama bin Laden was killed and outside the White House everyone was chanting USA, 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 did you make love to Michelle that night? Can you believe he asked that? I was shocked.
On the night you did kill bin Laden, did you and Michelle make love?
Did she say she was going to answer that?
Yes. When I read the book and you were talking about hearing people outside the White House chanting USA, 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 I had an image in my head. I did.
I suspect that she was asleep. Because the truth of the matter is, most of the time, by the time I was done working, she'd be snoozing.
Right.
So Michelle goes to bed about 9 o'clock.
You don't have to make excuses. It's okay. I experienced the same thing.
It's not an excuse. It's a lament.
He asked that.
Wow. Having sex after someone dies is dark.
Weird, I know. It's really, really weird. And you do often forget that the American attitude to all that sort of stuff is different to ours. Like,
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever watched the Newsroom series in the episode where they killed Osama bin Laden.
Yes,
and it's treated
yes.
like I think in Australia we would have the attitude of, okay, maybe it's good that threat's gone, but it's never good when someone's killed and this is a grave, somber sort of moment. But they treat it sort of triumphantly. So, yeah, in Jimmy Kimmel's mind, and he's a pretty progressive person,
Yeah.
it's still fine to ask the
It's
president.
a weird thing. I think when someone like that dies in this country, it's more. I'm also sad for all the people that person took down, like all the deaths because of that person.
Yeah, if
there should be no
anything, it's a time
joy
to
around
reflect
it.
on
yeah.
the bereaved people.
Yeah, So, sure. But yeah, so well worth watching. While we're in America, I do want to briefly touch on Rudy Giuliani. That man is a hot shit show.
I'm sensing that you've done a 3 a.m. deep dive.
I've done a very big deep. Obviously, I got sent the picture of his hair mascara running, I think about 500 times over about 3 days. Everyone, I'm glad that my brand association is with Rudy Giuliani's hair mascara running down his face. And that's what it was, gang. It was, when you get grey sideburns, you can buy it from Coles. My mother-in-law uses it on her roots when she can't get to the hairdresser. You just kind of put the hair mascara on the bits that are grey and you're right for the day. But it's not waterproof. Just washes out with shampoo. So Rudy was sweating bullets under the lights under the 40-minute press conference, which he's getting paid $20,000 a day, by the way, at the moment, to be Trump's lead counsel on this bogus election fraud campaign that they're doing. 20 grand a day he's making.
Really?
Yeah. So bitch
Well,
has
you
got to earn
are
it.
burning your legacy, so I'd want a fair bit of money.
And he's 78 years old, Rudy. So, he's not getting any younger. And he's had a hell of a year. So we've obviously had the Borat film stuff. Where he's
And
tucking
surely
his
you feel
shirt
like
in.
it's never going to get more embarrassing than this. It
No.
can't. And then
and
flash
then
forward
Four
to
Seasons landscaping presser between the mortuary and the sex shop. Then
Yeah.
we had the hair dye. His son now has COVID in the same day that Donald Jr. also got diagnosed with COVID. What a shit show. But
What a shit show.
I wanted to understand his main, I kept avoiding trying to find out what his main argument was. And when I read it, I just want to let you know what he's saying.
Okay.
He is claiming that Joe Biden operatives working with huge Democratic machines that are also working with corrupt judges are all in cahoots with a communist voting software company somewhere overseas, conspiring to reverse the early leads that Trump held on election night in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia. That is his legal defense.
Wow. Can I just say, though, in some ways, I mean, he's so batshit and he really is like a Batman villain and I mean not even from the contemporary films. He's like a Batman villain from the 60s TV series. But also, in some ways, thank God that it's such a shit show and he's such a joke and he can't even get his hair dye sitting straight or book the press conferences at the right place, because one day someone's going to come along that is trying to do all this stuff but is really smart and together. And we're going to be in trouble then. Oh, God.
You could be wrong there. Because I know, look, I just want to let people know Trump had an early lead on election night, in case you don't know, in case this has passed you by, because he encouraged his people to vote on election day because he didn't give a shit about coronavirus.
And not mail-in votes.
Okay, so the votes that get counted first are the ones that are cast on election day. Joe Biden encouraged all Democrats to mail in their ballots because of corona. So those votes get counted afterwards. So, of course, the person who told their people to vote on election day will have an early lead because all those votes are being counted on the day. Yeah. It's maths. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is me saying that too, guys. So he then said that he had evidence to overturn the election, to which the journalist said, oh, okay, can you give it to us? And he's like, no, I can never tell anyone because I don't want to put witnesses' lives at stake. But then I'm like, are they this stupid? But maybe they're not, Michael, because this whole thing is that they're trying to delay the official certifications happening in the contested states, right? They're trying to draw that out because they're trying to whip up the base, the MAGA troops. They want to froth them up, who will then put pressure on the Republicans in the Electoral College to go against what the voters in their state wanted. The red states that turn blue. So there is method to the madness. Don't count them out until they're out, is what I'm saying.
I reckon there's an awareness that this probably, won't come off, but I think the thing is, if he kicks up so much shit about all of this and gets people so angry, then I reckon it'll put everyone in a position of when he's finally gone and when he's out, he should be facing a whole lot of criminal trials. But he's thinking if he gets people really rolled up, then Biden will think we can't risk putting him under trial. It's just going to tear the country apart. So the more shit he kicks up now and the more angry he makes his supporters, the more likely it is that everyone's like, just let's let him fade into the background. Just let him go to his little resort in Florida or whatever. And so we can forget about him. So either way, it's going to, even if he loses, which he will, this initial, I predict, the Enchanted Seahorse of Hope predicts that it's not going to make any difference to the election outcome at all. But what it will do is fire up his supporters so that no one feels game to put Trump on a criminal trial.
I guess. But he also referred to My Cousin Vinny as his favourite law movie. So in the press conference.
To be fair, it is a good movie.
Did you all watch My Cousin Vinny? You know the movie? It's one of my favorite law movies because he comes from Brooklyn.
If you want to be a respectable lawyer, there's only one movie to look to, and that
Aaron
is Legally
Brockovich.
Blonde.
Who's
They're called
Camper?
boobs, Ed.
They're called boobs, Ed. Before you go, I do want to talk about the John Farnham Musical.
This, it stirred in so many feelings. I mean, obviously we just should have it on mode. This is the first time that we've mentioned it. I'm sure this is going to become a theme that may sustain for years.
I just want to say straight away, it invokes anxiety in me. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
I want
it's
to
kind
write
of
it.
similar to the feeling that I had when it's like Madonna's directing her biopic. It's kind of like you're going, I should want this, but I'm so terrified.
Well, not only that, I should want this, I'm so terrified. Then I go through, which you probably do because you're a scriptwriter, you're a writer, you're a producer. I want to be a part of making it because no one's closer to this than me.
No one knows what it should be more than I do.
And then because I'm also a performer, I'm like, well, I need to play John. Like, I'm the obvious candidate, this Italian woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, this who's the absolute polar opposite to John Farnham aesthetically.
I would say even vocally, it's not like your voices have a similar quality, really.
They certainly do. How dare you?
Do they?
I learned to sing listening to him and Stevie Wonder, so I have the voice of, I have John Farnham's range, exactly. So it's the male tenor, high tenor range, which is not great for a female. I'm a female alto. Well, I guess I'm probably a female tenor. But no, I mean, I could do it. I mean, I could learn to sing like him. Oh, look, I look a lot like Jilly. I'd play his wife. I do look like young Gillian Farnham. I do.
Yeah. I wonder if Olivia will be a character in this.
No, unless they... No, that's just Christmas
She might
albums. Be. No, it'll be like... it's going to be a theatre show, which makes me more happy because I feel that's safer than some television show with bad wigs. Like, I think I'm glad it's going to be a musical.
I'm also really intrigued by, like, what is the hidden drama in his life? Like, I mean,
so much. Oh my God.
What? What's the big ticket things? With Tina Turner, it's obvious. And then with Carole King, it's obvious.
Well, early days, of course, he was like a plumber's apprentice, like living out in the burbs in Victoria, parents with 2 pound poms. And like he didn't really, he wasn't really a muso. He just liked singing. And then all of a sudden he's this friggin' heartthrob singing music he actually hated. Like Sadie is his most hated song. It's like, and he hated being called Johnny. It's like, don't call me Johnny, but they bloody did. And he faced bad health battles. He's had a lot of drama.
Okay, look at you. You're ready to write this.
I could plot it. Mate, I could plot it. I could sing it. I could star in it. I could produce it. I could play all the characters.
The thing that I love about it is I'm going to presume they're going to take all of his songs and try and like put them into his personal life story.
There isn't. They can't because honestly, all those songs he's not a songwriter.
No, exactly. Like, where are you going to get in Touch of Paradise? I suppose they could go the other way and it's just like they tell the story of his life and then he occasionally get bits in concert where...
Maybe. But do you know the story of You're the Voice? It was like a last minute, it was fished out of a barrel of demo tapes. They literally brought in a garbage bin full of demo tapes and they'd spent the day kind of playing. They didn't find anything. And so one of the guys he was with just kind of went, oh, hang on, let's just go one more. And he stuck his hand right down the bottom and fished it around like it was a lucky dip. Pulled out the cassette tape, the demo of You're the Voice, put it in. That's it. That's how it happened. And there's no doubt Farnham infuses that natural charisma, and he's such a great performer. Like, you feel the lyrics when he sings them. He's totally in the moment when he sings, and that's why people love John. He would be the first one to say his musicianship, he's an incredible vocalist. He's pitch perfect. He can fucking interpret anything. He can interpret the phone book, right? But he's not one of Australia's greatest composers or, songwriters, and he's totally cool with that. He wants to fish trout and he wants to sing, and I respect that.
What I want is the M. Rossiano one-woman show, The Life of John Farnham. I want you to come out and basically do it like Drunk History, but you sing too.
I really want to do that so bad. And I have been dreaming about approaching his management. I want my management to approach his management. I'm so scared of the rejection. And just go, can we just do a one night only? We sell out Rod Laver Arena, which we would. Em interviews John. He sings. Maybe she's allowed to sing a little bit, but that's not as important. And it's like, none of this is your life, but just like a true fan. And so many people our age are fans because it was like, it was peak when music was starting to really affect who we were. Someone who's a true fan and grew up with his music, sitting down and teasing it because he's such a he should have been a stand-up comic. His banter is A+. He's so funny. So I just think me and him on a stage with the whole Chong Lim Orchestra, Lindsay's there. I'll allow Lisa Edwards to come even though she deserted him for a solo career, whatever. Vanetta, we'll
so
let Gary
generous
Pinto,
of you.
Yeah. Well,
how's Vanetta going?
I haven't actually heard much about Vanetta Field, to be honest. Lindsay's still out and about.
Okay.
But, Hirschfelder's not there anymore, obviously, because Chong Lim's in. So Chong will be there. Brett's on guitar. We got Angus on drums. Like, the whole gang will be back together. And just me and him on stage with, 15,000 people in the audience. Can you imagine?
Oh, it sounds superb.
Mate, one night, Whispering M. Oh.
Whispering M. I do it I certainly hope the poster would be you recreating the album liner images, including the bit where doesn't she slap him?
Yes. Yeah, inside the cover. Yes, and she's got long red nails. I thought they were the most glamorous hands I'd ever seen. I just love him so much, and I just want to sing with him so badly.
I can just see the unfortunate, you go on time, but unfortunately it would take Ms. Rossiano 7 minutes to compose herself. We're hoping that the performance will commence soon.
Do you know that I would just cry? He's genuinely one of the...
She's crying. It appears she has lactated, which is very strange considering she has not breastfed for many years.
I'm crying now. If anyone listening now has any power in that, we would sell out Rod Laver Arena. It would not be a problem. It would not be a problem. Between him and I, most of my fans are in Melbourne, my community. Sorry, I said the word fans. I hate that word. Most of my community are in Melbourne. I've sold Palais. I sold it out 4 or 5 times. That's 20,000. I sold 27,000 tickets in Melbourne, I think, last year. So easily. And then add his 50 million fans.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, okay, I know you've got to go. Have we covered all that we wanted to cover? Is there anything else on the list? I had a big list.
I think we've covered more than we wanted to cover.
Oh, but just before you go, we had an article come out last week on Saturday in The Age.
We did, the two of us.
And if you want to read it, the link's on our Instagram, Emsolation Podcast. Jamila, our great friend, wrote it. We kind of said it and she's put it in our words. I feel like it looked a bit one-sided, and I'm a little bit disappointed at your contribution.
We've both had very different reactions to this. I just hear consistently, M's one was all about M and Michael's one was all about M. Also, there was one really telling thing. This wasn't Jamila, but it did fall into the thing of you get your husband and all your children listed and Adrian doesn't get mentioned, which I know would have been like the editor put in the thing, but it does have the whiff of heteronormative bullshit. Because I spoke about him quite a bit.
You did?
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, did someone say that mine was all about me and yours? Oh, mine was all about you.
No, but you get, to a certain extent, but you get the stages of your life sketched in.
But they asked me those questions.
Yeah, I had plenty of stories.
Oh, so now what, does it look like I'm selfish? God, it's the undertones.
No, I just want to say overall it was wonderful and the response has been amazing. And the weirdest thing is how many of our parents' colleagues have read it, because our parents work together and they worked at this hospital, and all of them have a subscription to The Age. So my mum, let's just say, if you wanted to ring Joe Lucas yesterday, you're in a bit of trouble because phone was off the hook all weekend with her fielding calls, and all of them want to purchase the Busy Working Mum T-shirt.
I know. Got to get those back on sale. Oh, now I'm going to obsess over you thinking that the whole thing was about me.
No, not me. That's just what other people have said.
But that's not...
I didn't think of it at all.
I did genuinely speak about you for about 2 hours.
No, and I genuinely spoke about you. It's all edited down. She did a great job editing it down. But I know what you're about to say, that I didn't say heartfelt... this is what she means to me. Exactly. But I did. I really did.
So
I did.
maybe say it now.
I told a long story.
Oh, maybe tell everyone now what I mean to you.
No, I said that often in our friendship has the absolute gift of knowing exactly what I need to hear at a particular time, even if it's not the truth. Or even if it would really shock you. And I spoke specifically. I gave 2 examples. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The first example that I gave was when I was coming out and I was like deciding, maybe I should go back to being with girls. And you would think that Em would just shut me up and put on Diana Ross and not accept it. But she didn't at all. She was completely zen and was sort of saying, well, if you feel that way, sure, really relaxed, not judgmental at all. Privately, of course, probably thinking, you fucking kidding me? But you did not express that. And then the other thing that I said, there was one moment where I had, I'm just going to say, a bit of a career low point. I'd just come off all of the success of Offspring and I made another 6-part series with Asher, Party Tricks, and then it came on at the end of the year in the tailwind of Offspring where everyone just wanted more Offspring, and then it didn't rate. And it was, at the time, I just took it really badly. I pretty much took to my bed. Yeah. Briefly. I recovered, obviously. Yeah. But Em wrote a really beautiful card and it just said, I'm sorry they weren't ready for it yet, which was such a generous, and it's what I needed to hear in the moment. Not, again, probably not true.
No,
the show probably just didn't tick the box.
No, I want to interject. Party Tricks is the show he's talking about, and it's fucking brilliant. It's the best thing you've made by a mile. I like it better than Offspring, and I think
go to Template, check it out.
It is on Template. Go and check it out. It's especially it's political. It's the most you. I loved it so much. I'm in it singing John Farnham. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, episode 3. It's true. I forgot that's the headline item for this podcast.
Yes.
But unfortunately, you're singing it because you're supporting a liberal, liberal launch. But Roger Corsa, Em and Roger Corsa.
Yes, and they made me black out my tattoos. They made me put makeup on them because I was at a Liberal Party function and they didn't think they'd hire a singer full of tattoos. So I had to do that. It was critically acclaimed. You forgot that part. It was critically acclaimed. The public just didn't get it.
Oh, and then weirdly has ended up on Amazon in the States and Acorn in the UK. So over the pandemic, there's been a weird amount of tweets sent to me. And also the other really, really odd thing is Asher played like a Hillary-style establishment politician. And then Roger played a TV star who became a politician. But this was 2 years before Trump. Yep. And now when people watch it in the US and the UK, they assume we're riffing on Hillary and Trump, but we weren't at all.
No, foreshadowing like The Simpsons. Go and watch Party Tricks on Template. I'm sorry Adrian wasn't mentioned. That's not Jamila, that's sub-editors.
No, I know, because the sub-editors put in the stuff about your children. It's fine.
Yeah,
it was
and
a great
the headline
article
too.
And a great picture.
Yeah, good picture of us. So thank you to Jamila Rizvi for putting our friendship in the column of the paper for the ages. At the very least, our parents will be proud of something we've done finally.
Mate, you came out first line, said we were raised by 2 strong feminist mothers. We've got a decade of credit for that. It's unbelievable.
All right. Fuck, I'm so sweaty.
It's like Melbourne's underwater at the moment.
Mate,
it's still hot, but it's so wet. Normally I can see the city from the window I'm looking at, and there's absolutely no way.
Humidity's at 200%, and for this sweaty, anxious person, I can't leave the house. Even in my house, I'm sitting under the air conditioner. I'm schwitzing from my pits, from under my tits, from under my ass. It's like soup. It's the worst. But I've got very nice dewy skin and curly hair, so there is a trade-off. All right, you go. I just want to say on the record, I'm sorry people felt like my part was about me and your part was about me.
No, people, yes, I did hear that a little bit.
Hand on heart.
We spoke for an hour and a half. It all gets edited down. And and also, you're the famous person.
Is the general consensus among your people and your side that I don't know that our friendship is one-sided? Because it's not.
That's not what they were saying at all.
Our friendship is not one-sided. I want it known.
No, it's not. It's very even.
I'm always painted as the villain.
You're not.
Just want to sing John Farnham. Like, honestly. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This is Emsolation.
Phew. Do you need a shower? I know. I don't even know if I'll be able to listen to this one. But that would have just, honestly, that we almost both forgot we were recording. That's what a phone call is between us, which is why we decided to do the podcast. I'm like, do you think other people would want to hear what we talk about? He's like, no. And I said, let's do it anyway. And you should definitely go and check out Party Tricks on 10play. 100%. It's my favourite thing he's done. And for realsies, if anyone knows John Farnham or his people, or even if you're just head of his fan club, first of all, that should be me. I'd really love to make that happen. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for voting us 4th in the Australian Podcast Awards People's Choice. We got 4th. Very honoured. It was a distinguished list. I know over 45,000 votes were cast. But in the end of the day, I realised, and I was listening to Will Anderson talk about it, the awards don't matter because, they're nice, but it's a weird thing to compare podcasts because it's so personal and you guys pick out of this kind of niche interest and it's kind of comparing apples and oranges with the awards. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to place quite as much importance as I think I was now. I'm pretty zen about them, actually. Come full circle. Thank you, Will Anderson, as usual. All right, guys, have a lovely day. We'll talk to you later in the week. Bye.